program directors, the family of our departed leader and mother, but then again, the families of Malangabi, Skweyiya, Makamu, Mkwanazi, Rankin, Mqikela, Idrisu, Mkabela, Hlophe, Mofu, Mkacha, the collective Nokwe family. The Secretary General of the African National Congress and the leadership of the ANC at national executive level, at provincial executive level here in Gauteng, at regional executive level, and indeed at regional level. The leadership of our alliance, COSATU, the SACP, and SANCO, the leadership of the various leagues of the African National Congress who are here present, ministers and deputy ministers, and members of parliament, the stalwarts of our movement, Izithwalandwe, who are here with us, sitting right here in front, Mamu Sophie, Babu Ben, no Mamu Mildred, Izithwalandwe, the African National Congress. Members of the legal fraternity, religious and community leaders, and comrades and friends, I greet you all in the name of our Republic at this Category 2 official funeral. Today is a solemn occasion. It is a day of both sadness and joy. It is a homecoming of one of our own, one of the finest sons of our country, who gave everything for the liberation of the people of South Africa. So today we gather here not just to remember a name, but to celebrate a life. In fact, to celebrate two lives. Lives that helped to shape the cause of our nation. We're here to honor Dumalisile Nokwe rather, no Mama Nokwe. Our leader, Duma Nokwe, was a man of brilliance, of great integrity, and of unshakable conviction. He was elected Secretary General of the African National Congress in 1959 during its 46th annual conference held in Durban. He was the youngest Secretary General of the ANC ever elected. Fikile Mbalula always thinks that he is the youngest ever to have been elected. And he thinks because of his youthful look and the way he walks with a bump, we will always recognize him as having been the youngest. SG Duma Nokwe was elected Secretary General of this glorious organization when he was 30 years old. Wena bowusuyidlulile. Duma Nokwe, a leader, a brother, a comrade in arms, and an umkhonto wesizwe. We welcome you home. We are here to receive you as your comrades, as your compatriots to the free South Africa of your dreams. We inter you at your final resting place alongside your beloved wife, Umama Vuyiswa Nokwe. Today is not as we would have wished it to be. We would have wished to receive you home in life. We would have wanted to be there in our great numbers as you stepped down from the aeroplane at OR Tambo International on South African soil. Yet we cannot turn history's tide. We cannot erase the great indignity to which you were subjected, taking your last breath in exile far away from home, to which you could not return. The poet Breitenbach called exile the elsewhere that cannot be reached. And so you became what Dennis Brutus described as the wanderer, exiled twice, from land and then from time. Duma Nokwe passed away in exile, as we heard, in Lusaka in 1978. He never got to set foot on the soil of a liberated, democratic South Africa. Many, many more of our brave men and women were pursued, they were persecuted and hunted down by those who had exiled them. Others were tortured and killed and buried in unmarked graves in foreign lands. The ANC, working together with our government, is at work to bring them back home, because they must be brought home. This is their home. Advocate Duma Nokwe, you have returned to your people in the quiet dignity of death. You bring with you the spirits of our many other fallen heroes. As we pay tribute to you today, we honor them as well. They were denied the right to return in life, but today we break their exile and inter their spirits in the land for which they gave their all. Duma Nokwe dedicated his life to the liberation of our country from the tyranny of apartheid. He was a youth activist who rose to become the Secretary General of the African National Congress. And as Secretary General, he played a pivotal role in mobilizing our communities against apartheid and strengthening the ANC's organizational capacity. His leadership was marked by resilience in the face of state repression, including arrests, banning orders, and the infamous treason trial. Secretary General Duma Nokwe helped give life to one of the most powerful declarations in our history, the Freedom Charter. This year we celebrate 70 years of that outstanding document that fired up many in our country to give their all to ensure that our country is liberated. He stood for justice, not just in law books, but in the lives of ordinary South Africans. He organized, he mobilized, and when the state came for him in the infamous treason trial, he stood firm, undaunted, unwavering, and proud. In January 1963, under increasing pressure from the apartheid regime, he was directed by the ANC's underground leadership to leave South Africa. In exile, he continued his activism, notably serving as the ANC's Director of International Relations, where he advocated for the anti-apartheid cause on global platforms. The apartheid regime tried in vain to thwart his activism. He was jailed, he was banned, and he was restricted. If he had been found guilty in the treason trial, it could have meant a death sentence. He was dismissed as a teacher for his involvement in the defiance of unjust laws campaign. Yet nothing could crush his spirit nor temper his determination. He decided to enter the legal profession, believing in the power of the law as a shield for the vulnerable, as an instrument of change. He entered a profession that was designed to exclude black people. In 1956, he became the first black advocate to be admitted to the Supreme Court of South Africa. It was a bold act, not just a personal achievement, but an act of resistance. He cracked open a legal system that tried to lock him out, and in doing so, became a beacon for generations to come. He understood that the true power of law lies not in preserving systems, but in liberating people. Though apartheid tried to silence him, even in silence, he spoke justice. The late George Bezos said that Duma Nokwe's admission to the bar was a moment that cracked the facade of white legal supremacy. Even as he reached the pinnacle, the regime continued to hound him, refusing to allow him to take chambers with his white colleagues in Johannesburg. But he would not be counted down. He used his legal skills to defend those who stood up against tyranny. In the Long Walk to Freedom book, President Nelson Mandela describes how after the declaration of the state of emergency in 1960, Duma Nokwe became both a defendant, that is an accused, and the advocate for the defense of those who were being tried in the treason trial. This was after lawyers from the defense team decided to withdraw in protest against the harassment they were facing from the authorities. Duma Nokwe and Madiba helped the accused to conduct their own defense. Of the trial, Madiba wrote, "Our case was far more than a trial on legal issues between the Crown, which is the state then, and a group of people charged with breaking the law. It was a trial of strength, a test of power of a moral idea versus an immoral idea, close quotes. Duma Nokwe's legal expertise was brought to bear in shaping the views of the liberation movement around constitutionalism and democracy as well. He was a mentor to young black lawyers, and today this noble legacy lives on with the Duma Nokwe Group, the Advocates Society or group that has been set up in the Advocates' Chambers, as we heard earlier from the lawyers. And in recognition of the eminent position that Duma Nokwe occupied in the legal profession, I, as President of the Republic, have posthumously conferred the silk status of Senior Counsel on Advocate Duma Nokwe. We have brought with us the certificate to hand over to the family. I will ask my legal advisor, Advocate Nogukanya Jele, to have it in hand so that we can hand it over to the family when I finish. In doing so, we are correcting a grave injustice done to one of our foremost legal practitioners. We are making a declaration that his legacy did not end in exile, nor does it end today. He will from now on be referred to as Duma Nokwe SC, standing for Senior Counsel. We are confirming our belief in his conviction that the law is to be used not merely to secure courtroom victories, but to achieve profound, lasting change. In court, Duma Nokwe was an advocate for justice. Outside the court, in the streets of our nation, in the capitals of the world, he was a respected and beloved advocate for freedom. His voice, empathetic, compelling, and sincere, resonated as powerfully through the halls of the United Nations as it did across the airwaves of Radio Freedom, as we heard. He wielded his words as instruments of liberation. He sought to persuade, to empower, and to inspire with his words, his prowess, and his ability to convince. As a person, as an activist, as a leader, he was known for his humility and understanding, for his integrity and unyielding commitment to the cause of humanity. Duma Nokwe is remembered as a brilliant legal mind, a dedicated revolutionary, and a symbol of dignity and resistance. In post-apartheid South Africa, his contributions are honored in both legal and political spheres. The Duma Nokwe Group of Advocates and several other legal bursaries have been named after him, recognizing the man that he was. As he returns to the soil from which he was born, let us embrace all that Duma Nokwe represented and embodied. At this time, when we strive to make a fundamental break with the many ghosts of our past, let us hold to the values that defined him and that make us so unique as a people, courage, empathy, understanding, and tolerance. We still have many more journeys to undertake as a nation. Our freedom is not yet fully formed. As we have often said, the 27th of April 1994 represented just a breakthrough. It gave us a moment to be on the beach, on the beachhead. It was a beachhead moment. Much more still needs to be done to enable our people to attain the true freedom that Duma Nokwe struggled and suffered for. Let us affirm that as South Africans, we are all of the same soil, and that we will never renege on the promise of equality, justice, and freedom for all, as promised by our Constitution. And we will continue to build a South Africa in which no one, neither black nor white, neither woman nor man, feels themselves a pariah in the land of their birth, or feels that acts of genocide are being perpetrated against them, because there is no such. We owe this to the spirit and to the legacy of the great Duma Nokwe, who stood for non-racialism throughout his life, who stood for justice, who stood for equity and fairness. Like many of his time, he cherished a dream he never got to see fulfilled. It is incumbent, therefore, on us, the living, to ensure that the legacy of Duma Nokwe continues to live. And I would like to thank those in the legal profession, the Duma Nokwe group, and bursary funds that have been named after him, and indeed many, many other places that have been named after him. I'd like to thank them for keeping not only his name alive, but his legacy and the work that he did alive. May his spirit rise. May it guide us in the hard work that still lies ahead for our country and our people. And may his spirit and his work continue to inspire us. Duma Nokwe was a true revolutionary, and he was a servant of the people. He was a man of unwavering principle, of great courage, and of unmatched selfishness. As we honor him today, let us rededicate ourselves to fulfilling his dream of a non-racial, non-sexist South Africa that will forever remain democratic and free. I'd like to pay tribute and great gratitude to his family, his very big family that stood here, in the way that they continue to carry the Nokwe name high up. We honor you and we thank you, because as you hold his name high up, you hold the ideals that he stood for high up. And we, as the government of the government of the Republic of South Africa, we thank you. And indeed, in the memorials that were held earlier, the Secretary General also thanked you as a family for continuing to do so. So we honor you and we say to our stalwart, Eno Mama Nokwe, lalani kahle, mkhonto, rest in peace. Your name and your work will always be remembered, as it always will continue to inspire us. I thank you all.
Uloyiso likasijekula sikasibewu usala kulandelwa uhenqa ubhincele ehlangene umancoba isijekula ngokwaso esikangqongqothwana nasi siza siphila phakathi kwenu yingoba kaloku yakuthi kaloku le yoyisile kumazanga amazwe ngungqongqothwane lo kubhincele ehlangene lo kumancoba lo kumjalo kuhenqwa lo Limiye lihleli nansi namhlanje siyazinca silusapho lonke lakwagcwalile lakwasibewu sithi emhlabeni xa usebenza kakuhle uba khona umvuzo singamanqina sonke sile nginginya sibona uchulumanco phakathi kwabantu sithi into oyenza ngoku nizala iziqhamo alala gcwalile alala sibewu alala sala kulandelwa alala ngqongqothwane siyabulela lithi ncincelile makube njalo
It's all right, doesn't matter.
It's all right.
We're ready now.
I'll use the president. Yeah. Thank you. It is.
Okay. The TNT. Where's the DNG? All of them. Where all the DNG?
Yeah. Yes.
And why don't they flank us all?
We're going to take a picture afterwards and call everyone up.
Okay, okay.
I'll do it now.
Yeah.
document which the President...
Comrades, please. Manibongwe. Ayihlale phansi bamba umthetho.
Thank you. So the President has handed over the letters patent, that is the document we call where silk has been conferred upon you. Normally the letters patent is delivered and handed over by the chair of the bar from which you applied. But in this case we think it's fitting that the chair of the LPC, which is also a member of AFT, read out the citation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marvin. So, the position in which I now stand would be in substitution of the chairperson of the Johannesburg Bar. Back in 2018, 2019, I occupied that position, but now, as the chairperson of the LPC, I receive these letters patents from His Excellency the President. And this is not a light moment. This letter is very significant for those who are practicing advocates in the referral profession. And it reads, Appointment Award of Senior Counsel Status to Advocate Dumilisile Philemon Pierce Nokwe, posthumously. This certificate bestows upon the late Advocate Dumilisile Philemon Pierce Nokwe the honorary title of Senior Counsel for the Republic of South Africa, posthumously. This award is granted in accordance with the provisions of Section 84(2)K of the Constitution. Those are the powers that are preserved only for the State President. As recognition of Advocate Nokwe, in the past, those powers were challenged, but challenged unsuccessfully. So the President still retains those powers and protection, that's right. And this is as recognition of Advocate Nokwe's outstanding character, distinguished career, unwavering fidelity, profound integrity, and exceptional ability. This posthumous honor acknowledges the esteem in which he was held and the lasting impact he made on the legal profession in the Republic of South Africa. And the President has signed on the 9th of May 2025. Thank you, Mr. President.